What's up, y'all? Matt, Massive Beers here. Back with a beer review. Something I've actually been chomping at the bit to review because it's been sitting in my fridge for a couple months now. This little sucker here. That little jammer. Not 8 ounces, mind you. 8.45 ounces. As you can see down there. Is it there? Is it there? Yeah. Hoppin Frog Barrel Age Q.O.R.I.S, the Quasher Quadruple Oatmeal Russian Imperial Stout. This was sent to me by Q.O.R.I.S. Q.O.R.I.S sends off boxes every now and then. I'll be like, hey man, you want a box? I said, hey, yeah. Send it off. And they said, hey man, you want a box? And I said, hey, yeah, send it off. And then a couple weeks later, I did my whole beer hiatus. So I got this probably in before Christmas. So it's been at least 2 months, being that it's the 20th of February. And I kind of earmarked this one as one that I was kind of really just chomping at the bit, like I said, to dive into. And we'll see what's what. The last couple barrel-aged Hoppin Frogs I've had have been like Mount Rushmore level stuff. So I'm really curious to see where this lands. Like I said, it's a quadruple Russian Imperial Stout in bourbon barrels. 15.7, son. Yeah, they're not messing around. I like the tiny little can. It's not one of those stubby 8-ounce cans, but it's mad tiny. It's almost like, this is what I feel like Andre the Giant felt like drinking 12-ounce canned beers. Like, just give me that beer. This is probably what it looked like for him to hold a 12-ounce beer. So, yeah, I dig it. It's kind of ghetto. It has a Best By date, Best By date of July 28th, 2024. We're in 2022. I don't see a canned on date. I don't know how old this is. We're gonna drink it. Label's awesome. It's ghetto. It's just silver and black. It's it's not silver. It's gold. Silver and gold. Yukon Cornelius would have corrected me there. So it's gold and black. Super ghetto. Just one color. Well, if you count the label color, it's 2 colors, but it's one color print. Something about it I really do dig. That's Rocket Fuel. Rocket Fuel malt liquor, goddamn, says Phil Hartman. Look at that thing, man. Motor oil. I mean, that head is dark, 5 A's dark, and just, man, it's dark. It's a big beer. Motor oil. Basically, we're looking at a big, huge, burly Imperial Stout. The nose, usually nose. Man, that smells nice. And by that I mean it's big and robust. You're talking about a 15% quadruple Russian Imperial Stout, barrel aged, blah blah blah. Huge beer, but it doesn't come off hyper aggressive. It comes off impactful. It comes off as showy. It comes off as it's like, hey, I'm a big beer, but there's no burn. There's no kind of heftiness on the nose, or at least aggressiveness on the nose from either alcohol in the beer or the actual barreling. But at the same time, it's still really, really aggressive. Big, huge chocolate malts, a little bit of bittering there, big, huge vanilla notes, a little bit of that bourbon coming through. And when I say a little bit, I mean in relation to how big the beer is. Yeah. I just want to dive in. Cheers. I will tell you what. You can go back and watch my videos. Just type in Hoppin Frog. Not really the biggest Hoppin Frog guy. Was never a big Hoppin Frog guy. I've had hit and misses with their beers, more specifically the barrel-aged stuff. Man, the last few have been so good. And I feel bad even saying that, man. This is really good. First things first, it's a big beer. It is hot. It's aggressive. listen, it's 15 and change. What are you expecting here? It's like diving into a brewery beer and being like, wow, this thing's aggressive and big. Like, no shit, Sherlock. You get on a roller coaster and be like, that thing went up and down. That sucks. So, that aside, it drinks really nice. Let's put it this way. There's a lot of bittering to be had in this beer. A lot. A lot of bittering to be had in this. You don't see that now a lot with these big burly stouts. It's usually a sweet, sweet, sweet on sweet thing. Now, it makes sense from Hoppin Frog. They're old school. They're OG. You get this big pop of sweetness. You get this chocolatey, syrupy kind of sweetness on the front. You marry that with the spirit, the bourbon portion of the show. That brings sweetness. It's like a chocolate-covered cherry kind of thing going on. Everything beyond that is a lot of bittering. Barrel charred bittering, roasted malt bittering, a hoppy bittering. There's a big, huge bittering. Now, it's a Russian Imperial Stout. There should be bittering here. It's the perfect amount of bittering for the amount of sweetness for its ABV level, which I think is probably one of the coolest things or smartest things about this beer is that it's just not like, okay, I'm big, huge bittering on one end or I'm big, huge sweet on the other end. It's a marrying of the two in a very, very smart way, you know. And I think this is Q.O.R.I.S is a quadruple oatmeal Russian Imperial Stout. So you have that oatmeal, and I think that might be something that might be overlooked by a lot of people, in that there's this smooth creaminess throughout the beer that is not lactose derived, but it has that kind of mouthfeel. It has that kind of vibe to it, to where there's this softness and creaminess to it that I think is just that without that oatmeal, it comes off a little bit more kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not in harmony. Like, it would be like sweet on one end, bitter on the other, and it probably would work in a very tasty way, but there would be singular kind of notes unless you gave this beer an additional amount of time. They're saying this is best by 2024. I'm assuming this is already a couple of years old, but when you add that huge oatmeal dose to the game, it adds a softness and creaminess that kind of helps blend both of those worlds together, that bittering and sweet world together. It's a really tasty beer. Is it like the best barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stout I've ever had in my life? No. It's geeking up there, especially ones I've had recently. But, for this little tiny can and the way it's kind of presented and how it's showing and being, secure enough in itself to be that bittering, but also show that sweetness and have that kind of cool kind of balance on both sides of things. I think this is absolutely fantastic. This is really, really good. The only thing that comes into question here is price point. With Divorce sending it off, they don't charge. They just send it to me. I don't know the price point of this beer, but I do know that I can find Hoppin Frog stuff in this size around me. A 4-pack of these are usually going to kind of hit the between $30 to $40 mark by me. So let's say, for the sake of conversation, it's 40. Okay, that means it's $10 a can. Even if you go down to 30, you're talking about $7.50, whatever. At this size, that tends to be a little bit hard to swallow, figuratively, not literally. I understand barrel aging is great, and ABV, all that nine. It probably is worth that, but with this tiny little can, I wanted a little bit more friendly price point, and that's all spec on my end. I actually don't know the price point of this beer. It's just me kind of yammering out there, so that's where you guys come in. Or gals, or everything in between. Let me know if you've had this and what you paid for this. I'm really curious about that, and it goes, hand in hand with, have you had this variant? Oh, if you've had the Best Buy 2024, what year did you buy it? Give me some intel on this. Let me know if you've had this beer. Let me know what you thought of this beer. Let me know what you think of Hoppin Frog in general. Like I said, I've never been a huge fan of Hoppin Frog, but that Froggy Claws that I had, I reviewed it, 6 months ago, is one of the best barrel-aged beers I've had, period, and sentence. So it's not like I'm not sleeping on these guys. I know, or gals, or everything in between. It's not like I don't expect them to make crushers or quashers, Q.O.R.I.S. But it was a little bit more inconsistent back in the day for me, but now it seems to be a little bit more consistent, and I think this is quite fantastic. So let's wrap this up. Just bursting at the seams with bittering and sweet in a very harmonic way, in a very fun way. Barrel comes through, spirit comes through, beer comes through. Beer really does come through, which is one of my favorite parts of the beer. A Russian Imperial Stout is there and present. That mouthfeel ties everything together and just ends up being a really, really fun beer. Let me know. Have you had this? The whole nine. We've already talked about it. So there you go. Review in the books. Mount Rushmore status of barrel-aged Russian Imperial Stouts of all time? No, but barrel-aged beers as of late, even still, no, but toward the top. Really good beer. And, yeah, let's talk about it down there. Or email or whatever. Just write. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of this right now. Cheers, y'all.